Hey everybody, welcome to a very quick and special first look at Assassin's Creed Origins Discovery Tour mode. This is the historical exploration of Egypt that basically gives you free reign to explore. And while it may not be for everybody, if you're a fan of historical architecture or just really want a chance to relax in this amazing landscape, this is for you. Right now, I am on top of a pyramid, just taking in these sights, and it is certainly impressive. Let me look at that view. We can go anywhere we want, and I have free reign to do anything. There is no threat of combat, fighting, or anything like that. I'm just going to slide down this pyramid all awesome. Whee! Nope. Now, while we're going down here, the Discovery Tour mode is free for anyone who bought Assassin's Creed Origins.
To cover long distances quickly.
That's our omnipresent narrator, or one of two. Or you can buy this mode separately. Oop. Come on, Blake, what are you doing? There we go. And we're back there. Well, as I was saying, we are free to explore at our leisure. I could really see this fitting inside like museums or schools. I'm curious to see what people think about it. Because again, we can do whatever we want. And we have the entire map open. These markers represent tours that we can take that we learn more about how things work. Now we're not going to look at the whole tour because again, it's just us going to be basically taking a little museum guide. But everything about the Discovery Tour mode is about educating you on what it was actually like in Egypt, how the architecture was built, what was society, and stuff like that. So I am also free. Here's our timeline where what's going on, including the various phases of Egypt. There's our passports, and we can be just about anyone we want. We could be Julius Caesar running around. There we go. I mean, look at that view. That is just impressive. And everywhere we look, we can go. So if we want to do this...
Welcome to the Step Pyramid Complex of Djoser.
Now each marker is going to give us information.
The Step Pyramid is at the center of an enclosed complex, comprised of temples, models of palaces, and artificial constructions, all built for the afterlife of Pharaoh Djoser. The funeral complex itself covers 15 hectares and is located on the highest point of the Saqqara Plateau. It's clear from the elaborate detail and scale of the complex that this was a technological marvel of its time. The only fragment of information regarding the design plans of the complex was discovered on a section of stone containing an architectural sketch of a vault.
And as someone who's played a lot of city builders, especially those during the Egyptian time, this is just amazing for me to be able to see the actual historical context for these buildings rather than just putting them down in my city. And with the game's very impressive engine, it just really sweetens the deal.
The Step Pyramid is the first monument built of stone. Standing at 60 meters high, it was the tallest of its time. Built 4,700 years ago, it was originally intended as a mastaba, which was a flat-roofed rectangular tomb. Its famous architect, Imhotep, may have felt this was too humble for the great Pharaoh Djoser, and began to add the steps.
And they actually told us about the mustabas. I think I just butchered that in one of the earlier tours that I took. But again, we can do whatever we want in this area, and there's no worry about dying, there's no experience, stuff like that. This is just for the education. I did see them like cover up a few statues and stuff like that, but again, in terms of just the raw historical knowledge, this is certainly worth taking a look at if you're interested in it. I mean, where else are you going to be able to climb a virtual representation of a step pyramid here? And do it as Julius Caesar, no less. Now, of course, we don't have to climb a manual. We can just do fast travel. But what's the fun in that, right, folks? Let's get a beautiful view. I mean, look at that. And again, if you just want to spend hours on end walking from one end of Egypt to the other, you can do that. And now we can jump back down. We didn't know Julius Caesar was so spry for his age. And again, if you want just taking the sites or do the tours themselves, you can do either or both. And yet, like I said, while it's probably not going to appeal to everybody, if you're a fan of learning about history like I am, and again, especially about Egyptian architecture, this is incredible. If I had the time, I would love to just go through all these tours and just learn more about all this.
The Step Pyramid complex is enclosed within a 1,600-meter long wall that is 10 meters high. This large wall was made out of white limestone and oriented along the north-south axis.
Now, the screenshots and photos that you're seeing, many of them were provided by Egyptologists and people who studied things. Some are concept art sketched by the Ubisoft designers during development. But still, it really adds to learning about what's going on here.
While there
as you
are
can see with this
14
one.
doors, only its eastern door was intended to accommodate the living. The remaining false doors were built as portals for the King's Ka to pass through. Along with false doorways, the walls were designed with bastions and steeples resembling a defensive wall. The positioning of these design elements suggest that they were related to the Hebsed festival.
Alright. Again, we're not going to go through the whole thing here, because that's probably a good another 15-20 minutes. But again, you can see just how much information there is, and this is definitely one of the best looking open world games I've seen yet. And having the historical information and history built into it like this is incredible. As I said at the start, if you're interested in this mode, it's either free if you own Assassin's Creed's Origin, the game itself, or you can buy it separate. I think it's like $14 or $15 for just the DLC. And if you're interested in the history of things, I would say this is definitely worth it. We even sent our Hawk out for a hawk's eye view of what's happening. And we can use him to fast travel as well. But again, this is just beautiful to look at. So we can either run across Egypt, or we can fly. Either one. But we're going to wrap things up here. So again, I would like to thank Ubisoft for giving me a press key to check this out. And while Discovery Tour may not work for every video game out there, I would love to see more games who build their titles around history or amazing architecture to go this route. I mean, like I said at the start, I love it when the architecture we saw in some of the games from Crow Team. But be sure to check things out if you're interested, and come back here for daily discussions on game design, as well as on GameWisdom.com, where we examine the art and science of games. So there's one last beautiful view to wrap things up with. Thanks for watching, and I will see you all next time. Before we get to the credits, just wanted to give a quick thank you and shout out to the supporters over on patreon.com/GWBicer. Thank you so much for watching this video. If you enjoyed it, be sure to like and subscribe to the channel. Check back around 10 Eastern for regular streaming. If you'd like to suggest games for me to cover or topics to talk about, let me know in the comments below. For a collection of my writings as well as weekly podcasts on design, check out game-wisdom.com. To support the Game Wisdom Patreon, you can find us on there on patreon.com/GWBicer. $1 will get you into our private Discord channel where we talk game topics and more. $5 will get you voting privileges for any major event, including the Saturday Night Grab Bag, Patreon-funded goals, and more. Thanks again for watching, and I hope you enjoy more videos here on the Game Wisdom YouTube channel.